How is your pee break?
My pee break.
It might flash you. Undetected.
Random baby.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I, too, am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
Around? But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave. Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. Knock, knock. Is this thing on? No, actually, is this thing on? Because, wow, I am shitting bricks to do this return episode. It is so good to be with you all again. And we're a little bit of a delay here. We're an hour behind. I'm also giving like Alphaba vibes, okay, because of this green halo. Because I'm already nervous enough, as you know, to do this episode. Just bearing my soul here about the month-long hiatus. What's been going on up here and Talk to Me, Taylor brain. It is like a trapeze act that you've never seen. And I'm sitting in quite literally a puddle right now. Not just because, I mean, I'm excited to be back with y'all, but not that excited because I quite literally spilled my coffee all over myself, my laptop. I mean, here you are, like, just call me Cinderella of my own show. It's fine. And my green screen, wasn't working. Hence, the Alphaba vibes that literally nobody asked for. But we are back. And you guys know I'm in the business of giving the people what they want. So it's not just you and I here tonight. We do have someone very special backstage because I polled your asses and I asked you if you prefer solo eps or with a guest. And as you guys know, I've been teeing this up to explain my break. It's going to be very personal. We have a little bit of both. I'm going to kind of just take a couple minutes here and explain what has been going on. And our very special guest who's been here before, she is Hollywood royalty. And I thought she would be perfect for this. She is backstage. She is listening and ready. Marky Costello, who is quite literally in the business of making the pros. I'm talking like the Tom Brady's, like who is my hero. No pressure. That's for another ep. Their most vulnerable and real selves. So we're going to unpack this a little bit together, everything I have to lay out here after that. So we got a little bit of both for you. So a little bit of news since I was last here. I did get engaged. And, because this is also giving like the Casper reboot. I don't know if you can see this because we're going with a makeshift green screen tonight. Like we're working with what we got. Shit happens. I quite literally, I'm going to be real with you. I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, I've had writer's block, creative block, and here I am and everything shit goes sideways. And Rob, my fiance, who also has a show on this network, I was talking to him before. I literally almost started crying and he was like, Taylor, stop it. You're going to sound like a victim. So fair enough. But yes, we did get engaged. Now, we got engaged and I think I done and fucked shit up a little bit. Yeah. Very exciting news, right? Especially in the world of, the highlight reels and Instagram and everyone sharing their best moment. And you would think that this was like the highlight of our lives. And that moment in that day was, don't get me wrong. But then your blonde here just literally went rogue. And that's because, like per usual with the rest of my life, it seems, putting so much pressure on what I thought had to be done. Moving, a wedding, marriage, babies, all the things. And it quite literally just was a killjoy and sucked all of our joy. And it ties so much into actually why I took this break. Because of my, and I don't know about you guys if you relate, but my incessant obsession with attachment to outcomes and what things are supposed to look like versus, or in your head, right? And who knows if how much of that is like, again, the highlight reels and social media and all this and all that. I mean, I opened up with you guys. I think a lot of you were like, are you okay in there? Like, is the blonde, are you doing okay? And I posted about truthfully even unfollowing people, not out of disliking them, but because of noticing I constantly compared and felt like shit and felt like I fell short and it just wasn't worth it. And I can tell you ever since, I have been so much happier. But I'm going to be real with you guys because a lot of people aren't. Here's a great example. You guys may have seen, I posted a video of Rob and I having fun. It was like a couples challenge, you know, playing and having fun. And it was us in the gym when I like stand on his abs. Also for 63, like, let's get after it. You guys let me know, you know, when you can do the same. But, you know, it seems like fun and games. And it was. But what you don't know is what happened behind the scenes. And that's because, you know, we have stuff we're working out. Well, that's, you know, maybe for another time. But because I put so much pressure and, you know, we have been going through it. Again, you're holding myself to such a perfection standard. What do you mean we're engaged? It's supposed to be the perfect honeymoon time, right? And already feeling like shit. The day I posted that video had truthfully one of the most gnarly fights that we've had in months. But you wouldn't know that from looking at it. And again, this is the stuff that people don't tell you. They just share that and then they don't share what's going on behind the scenes. And I was like, I'm not going to play you like that. I'm not going to do you like that. I'm going to tell you what's really going on. And the reason that I posted it is because it brought me and brings me still so much happiness and joy to watch. And I thought it would maybe do the same for you guys. But it got me thinking about all of this. Like, where is it getting us? This obsession with happiness. And it's so ironic because, and Marky's going to have a lot to say about this, but we are in a time where it's like, be vulnerable, be authentic. And also, you guys know I've joked, like being vulnerable is not my strong suit. It's like death before dishonor, but it actually does go so far back in my own issues with performing and perfection, right? Yet at the same time, we all fake being happy, hence the highlight reels. So where does like shape shifting and contorting for an algorithm and also like trying so hard to desperately be happy and keeping up with the Joneses, like where is it getting us? And this has been the personal existential crisis. I've been in like the sewer, like the It clowns, Siamese twin down there, and clawing my way back out because I turned 35 as well in February. And I just literally had a goddamn 35-year mental crash out because I've been fighting for this dream so hard for a decade. And Rob too has sacrificed. I mean, you guys don't even know, like so much day in and day out. And truthfully, it hasn't, I'm really at odds. It's tearing me apart because it hasn't got me where I want to be financially, like reach all of it, right? Again, being so attached to the outcome, where's it got me? So I said, I've shelved another dream of mine, having a kid, having a family. That's another reason I put so much pressure on it. And so I had that in my brain. I went, well, do I shelf my dream that I've been working for tirelessly for a decade? It's who I am, my soul and my bones, for another dream of mine. Like the time goes so fast. I don't want that to pass me by. And it's been really difficult because Rob, it's crushing him. He sees me, and I don't know if you guys have experienced this. Like I'll spend hours on LinkedIn applying for these full-time jobs. And for somebody who's had my back and been my supporter and sacrificed so much, he's like, this isn't even who you are, you know? And I'm so nervous. I don't know if it comes through. Although I think it's going okay. So if I'm not articulate at all, like we will do a Talk to Me Taylor return episode for dummies. Don't you worry, rest assured. But you know, it also brings me to what I've been transparent with you guys about. It's funny because I had a little like regroup with David Gokhstein, who owns this network. And he was like, just go for it. Like rip the Band-Aid, just say this shit. And it's like, I'm the girl who everyone's like, oh, you're so fearless. You're so this, you're so that. And for some reason, Rob, like these people sense, what are you holding back? And again, it's attachment to outcome. How will I look? Like there's a tiny little bit of a filter. Like I've been dying to say to you guys, even why I took a break, you know, feeling all the times like over the last decade, like picking yourself up over and over and over and how gritty and how hard that is and how much it hurts, to go after it over and over and over. But then it's like, you don't want to say anything. I always tell myself, like, I'm not going to say anything until I make it. Otherwise you'll seem like a victim. Like once you have your make it moment, then you can flex, then you can talk about the struggle. Even my platform, I said to David, and I've told you guys too, I'm so over all of it. Like, I don't care. Even the way people are doing things so authentically, we see it everywhere now with food influencers, celebs, School of Hard Knocks. And it's what Talk to Me Taylor was 10 years ago when it was unheard of, right? Interviewing celebrities on a selfie stick. Now that's everywhere. Even cancel culture. Like now people are like, oh, cancel culture is bad. Freedom of speech, good. And I'm like, hello, have you entered the building now? I've been talking about this for 5-6 years. Like, I'm bored. I don't care. And I never said that because I always thought, will I sound a certain way? Will I sound cocky? Will I sound bitter? And, all of that to say is, before I bring Marky on here, who has so patiently listened to my stream of consciousness, word babble, jibber jabber here. But again, the idea of us trying so hard in a world that's telling us, no, just be yourself. And again, attachment to things like fake happy or an algorithm, formula or whatever it is. And at the end of the day, where is it getting us? I know where it's got me. I'll tell you this. I have been that bitch, that hot mess who has been crying to strangers. I cried to my financial advisor who I met on a panel, by the way, that I moderated at Bit Basel. These are professional connections. I cried to these songwriters I just met in Nashville. I'm just like crying to people. Okay, that's where I'm at. And so in my first step to try to be vulnerable, I don't know if it's working well thus far. I'm going to bring on Marky here, who has so many thoughts on this. I know has my back. We talked about it offline. And honestly, like, I feel like this is the shit people do not talk about. So Marky, as I, reckon with the tech lords here.
Oh, there I am.
Think?
Oh, I got to see my hair. Okay. Got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, she's like vibe check though.
Okay.
Marky, where do we begin? Besides, we're both looking like, look at our spring. We didn't even.
We're very pink. We're very spring. Look at behind me. I have my Easter flowers. You love it.
It's giving Passover princess.
It's giving Passover princess. Even though Kanye West played in Los Angeles last night on Passover, but does anybody find the irony in that? But okay.
Wow. That's special. But
Taylor, honestly, let's get back to you for a second. I love you and I love Rob. So I love the two of you individually and together. And I think there couldn't be two people more. You two are so meant to be. Now, kind of what I said this to Rob yesterday too. Like Rob was like, I just like Taylor's my girl and I'm so excited to marry her. I'm just like, I'm afraid to have kids. I'm like, everybody's friggin' afraid to have kids. That's just you. And there's never a time, Rob, where you're like, oh yeah, for the next 18 years, let me check my books. Oh yeah, I'm free. No, you push that kid out of your hoo-ha and you make shit happen. And I'll get to you in a second. And I was always the type of mom, people would be like, I had to drive little Jimmy around for 3 hours for him to fall asleep. I was like, what? I was the type of mom, I just threw the diaper, the binky, and the bottle in my Gucci bag. And I was like, the kid is fitting into my life. I'm not fitting into my kid's life. You make it work. But where media is, and you're talking about your frustration of, yes, we see the highlight reels, but that's dying. Media is a current that is constantly moving. And where we are moving to in media right now, Taylor, is, I don't even want to say vulnerability. I think it's just wherever we are in our lives, that's where media is meeting us. So if we're having a nervous breakdown and planning a wedding, or like, fuck the wedding, let's just go elope, or what, like wherever we are, or like, oh, I got to be perfect in front of the camera. Fuck being perfect. Let me just tell you how shitty my fucking life is today. That's where we are in media. Right? It's meeting us where we are. We don't have to sit there and go like, oh, let me curate the perfect. No, it's not about curating perfection. First of all, perfection doesn't exist and it's unfucking relatable. How do we relate to perfect? That's why we love the Taylor Frankie Pauls. She gets nixed off The Bachelor all because of a 3-year domestic violence, which Hulu owns ABC and ABC owns Hulu. It was on the reality show 3 years ago. And then everybody takes a moral. I'm like, where's the line? We're bombing Iran and Israel here and there. And Taylor Frankie Paul, this is where we're going to stand on the line.
like the bomb of chairs that she's throwing at her exes.
Exactly.
No, but Marky, my dilemma, and I think a lot of people think this, we're over the fake again, which is
Totally.
why we're over the fake. I've been over it since day one. It was cute for like a day, but I've been over it. Hence what I said in the intro. It's like I've been over it. So
Right.
it's like a blessing and a curse of being ahead. Again, it's you don't want to like toot your horn, but it's sort of like it's real. It's like, okay, we've been over it. Thanks. Now everyone's finally catching up on being authentic. However, I also feel like a lot of us are turned off by like the crying people and influencers on our feeds. Like it's kind of, it gives me the ick. Like when I see the influencer in her car and she's like, guys, I'm just having a hard day as a single mom. It's kind
Horrible.
of cringe. It's
Horrible.
cringe. So
if I see one more
what
person
gives?
eating in their car too, like, you know what I mean? I mean, if I see one more with their sandwich and then like I see the food falling out of their mouth, like I'm grossed out. Like, yeah, like look at
I
my
love
sandwich.
it. I took a shot before this, by the way. That's how nervous I was, but neither here nor there.
I
so.
love it. I wish I had a shot. So my point to you is that I think we're sort of over explanation, if you will, of who, like, meaning, and I go back to Taylor
Okay.
Frankie Paul because why people loved her originally was because she was just really honest. Like, I'm having a shitty day. I'm bleeding. I hate everybody. My kids suck. Like, she kind of like, she had no filter. Everything that she was literally thinking, she was saying, and that resonated so much with so many women. I think we see what's going on in pop culture right now with Wes and Amanda from Summer House, like, and it's big news. And oh my God, like, you know, and Amanda, I don't know if you're up on this. I love that I am at, you know, my age. I'm up on
Peripherally,
this.
just through Dave Portnoy, how
yeah,
he
well,
got brought into it. But
I
that's
know.
that's my only in.
I saw Dave Portnoy as well. His like going, let me bring you up on the Amanda Petula. But it's kind of pop. It's going to go in the pop geist. It's pop culture news, but it's really kind of interesting. Listen, they're all in a house with like single people and married people. And two of the people, that one was getting a divorce and one kind of like her good friend. And now they're hooking up and they came out with a joint statement and everybody's up in arms. And she had just done this great ad campaign for a marijuana company, like smoking in underwear, super sexy. And they just said, oh, we're not going to have her anymore. I was like, are you guys dumb? This is on everybody. Like the press that this story is getting, too much for it, but it is. And the fact that you guys are now going to dump her as your spokesperson, or like, because like, once again, it makes no sense. If they just embraced that, like, people aren't perfect. Like, yes, we loved her on the show with Kyle, but they have announced they're splitting. You know, apparently these other two hooked up when they were both single. We're humans. And
people
humans
are craving the real, and that's where it's
humans
like,
fuck up. Humans are real. And the minute we try to be like, I'm not human, I don't bleed every 28 days, I don't poop, I don't do this, I'm so perfect. No, we're humans.
Wait,
humans
Marky, women don't poop. I don't know what you're talking. I still don't in front of Rob.
Do not poop.
I still don't in front of Rob. Can I just tell you that?
Good. Let the kids out, right? Meaning, you know, but because ultimately, does he think if you went on a 2-week vacation and you're stuck in a hotel room that you're not pooping?
I think he thinks that. In
Okay,
my head,
well,
he just thinks
I'll
that
have to wake
magical
his
rainbow
ass up.
comes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell him that women shit too. FYI, I'm gonna have to tell Rob that.
No,
But
he
when I'm
doesn't
trying,
even care. It's all
I
again
know.
per the intro in my head. But yeah,
it's we have this. You know, I turned 60 in December, and I have to tell you, there's something magical that happens when you get to be in your late 50s, or like I'm 60, and you just don't give a fuck, in the sense where I go to the gym now and I work out and I'm like, you know, getting in great shape. I care like that. I just don't, like, someone could say, I was at my son's lacrosse game. And I screamed, yeah, he scored. And I go, that's how we do it. And this mob of parents comes up to me, like, trying to tell me that my decorum. And I looked at them, I go, listen, woke police, are we really at the place in life where my kid scores a goal and I can't say that's how we do it? I didn't say that's how we do it, motherfuckers. I said, that's how we do it.
and I should have. No,
I should have. And then literally they were like, next time, Marky, you might get kicked out of the lacrosse game. And I go, ladies, that would be so fucking punk rock if I got kicked out of a lacrosse game in Albany, fucking Oregon. Please.
No,
my point
really.
is,
press is bad press.
No press is bad press. And at the end of the day, it's like, as long as I could put my head on the pillow and go, what did I do that was wrong? Root for my kid? I'm going to be authentically myself. And I think for you, and this is what I would love to see in your media as you evolve, is to talk about like all the pressures of like, we're going to get married with this. And then I don't know if I want to have a big wedding, a small wedding. I don't want to like, take out a mortgage to have a wedding. I'd rather have a mortgage with the house with it. Like, meaning I would love for you and to be like, and it's not about being perfect in a Pinterest board. And we're not going to be in fucking Lake Como in Italy with 80 million of our best friends, which we've seen all over TikTok and Instagram, curated perfectly on our Pinterest boards of
That's
Italy.
the thing, right?
Yeah, but don't.
And that's where, Marky, we kind of what I was alluding to in the beginning here. It's like we beat the shit out of ourselves because here's an example. I'll just come right out with it. Okay. So somebody who I unfollowed, and I've met her and she's lovely. I've interviewed her, a bunch of times, but is Jessie James Decker. And she presents the most perfect. She's super real. Like she is who she is, but it's like the hot husband, the mansion, the perfect kids, the millionaire thriving career, the brand is all this. And I would look at it every day and be like, I literally feel like shit. And then we doubly beat ourselves up because inside, this is like the happiness Olympics I was getting to earlier. We're like, no, we shouldn't be threatened by this. Shouldn't we see this as inspiration? And that's why I kept it around for so long, because I beat the shit out of myself it was like conversion Taylor therapy in my brain. I was like, no, you're going to see it and be inspired by it. You're not going to feel like threatened or inadequate. But then over time, it was like every day I was like, this is not helping me. Like at this point, this is like doing more harm than good. And her success doesn't take away from mine. And everyone has their own journey and yada, yada, all that shit. But is that part of what you're talking about? People just wanting the real because internally they've beaten the shit out of themselves so much for being like, no, I should be inspired by this. Like it's like we're judging ourselves.
Right.
Right.
Because absolutely. But once again, if they evolved a little bit with their brand of the perfect family to be like, there is no perfect family. There are no perfect couples. I mean, when I see married couples and I'm like, oh, you've been married for 20 years. What's the secret? Oh, we're perfect. We're so happy. I leave that meeting and go, bullshit. Like he's probably bending over the fucking secretary
all the time. Yes,
yeah, there is no way because it's not real. It's not real. And I think what we're craving right now in media, it's like, we don't want you to put on waterworks if you don't feel like crying, but I think we're just craving. And when I say being authentic, going like, I'm having a shitty fucking day. I hate fucking everybody. I hate the lacrosse fucking moms. I want to stab their eyeballs out and tell them all to get a fucking life. You know what I mean?
They have it coming,
They have it coming. I think we're just at a place where we want that instead of like, I'm the perfect lacrosse mom. Look at the great lacrosse bag I packed with the perfect snacks and the best. And F1, like even my kid will be like, Mom, I'm a junior in high school. Why don't you know my schedule? I go, I'm just not that kind of mom. I'm not the mom that's going to pack snacks. I'll give you $20. Go and get some food with your friends. Like I'm not that mom. But you know what kind of mom I am? When he wanted to start a podcast called The Jump, where he as a high schooler interviews athletes making the jump from high school to college. I go, that's the kind of mom I am. Let me media coach you. Let me book the people. Let me find you a studio because that's going to get you in college, not your shitty lacrosse team that sucks ass.
But sorry. But like me, I don't want to say comparing it, but whatever. Looking at the Jessie
Compare
James
leads
Decker,
to despair.
Right.
Despair.
It is. It's the thief of joy comparison is the thief of joy. Even like you with the lax moms, right? I'm just going to push on this. Even you, I think this with these people, I'm like, there has to be it can't be this perfect. But is that an us problem? Like, what does that say about us versus being like, no, all the happiness to them. They should be the perfect Jessie James and the lax moms and the this and this. Like, does it say something about us?
No,
that it's like, no, it feels like we want a little bit. Like, is it not that perfect?
I would never follow them because I would go like, it's just bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? It's Pleasantville and it's bullshit. And I guess that recycled perfect family content works for them. But what's going to happen when there's a crack or two? Are they going to lose half their followers because now we've bought into this bullshit and now we're seeing the cracks and it's not real, right? So I think, for them it's working now, but what happens when there's a crack? What happens when, there's a book right now that's like on everybody's For You page. She's like, everybody is trying to make a movie and bidding for it. It's called Strangers, about this perfect family, this perfect marriage. And one day the husband comes home and goes, yeah, I don't want to be married anymore. And she was literally like, but the point is, and he was fucking somebody else, and everybody's trying to option it in Hollywood, this story, and she's gotten like there's 80 million options to option her book. Because
Mhm.
once again, it's sort of like what you were talking about, the facade, like people looking in going like, oh my God, she's part of this family, and they come from this money and live in the perfect, place in Connecticut, and the kids are perfect and everything's and then one day he comes home like, yeah, I don't want to be married. I don't want custody of the kids. You have all that, this, that, boom, boom, boom. Like, peace out, and you'll hear from my lawyer. But now, if you would have polled 80 of their closest friends, they would have all said, no, they were the perfect couple.
So it's
You know,
giving Byron no. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
exactly. And I'm not saying that about
No, no.
Jessie and her. I'm just saying,
Right.
there's just no way, as someone who has had kids, and I've been married and I've been in relationships, long-term relationships, I just have to tell you, like, life is messy. I mean, if anybody's going to tell you
Yeah.
life isn't messy, I want to see the messy, the good, the clean, the bad. I want to show you my clean house, but like my messy car while I'm juggling 80 million things in my life, like meaning my gray roots, my this, like life is messy.
Yeah.
So, you gotta wonder when people are just putting out the most perfect aspects of their life. You gotta almost feel for them on a level to go, ooh, God damn it, when those cracks, or when that other pin drops and the reality seeps through, I hope they can recover.
Well, lastly, on that note, yes, I agree. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, are there people so bought in and ride or die? They'll be like, we're here with you in this. I don't know. Time will tell with all of this shit. But a huge, again, existential dilemma I'm in that I would love your thoughts on, again, that people don't talk about because of all this, is the purpose as the woman. And, again, even fighting for a dream and then another dream and really dealing with that. I mean, even I would love your thoughts as it pertains to us and me and Robin,
I'd
whoever
like
else
to
is
see
going
you.
through
I'd like
this.
to see the both of you rebrand and do a podcast together. I'd like it to be called I Do, No, I Do. Literally, like, I would love for you guys to be talking about all of this stuff that you are going through: long distance, money, fear, kids, biological clock, TikTok, meaning I that's what you guys should, but like, you guys have been, and I'm going to give you the best advice of your fucking life. You
I'm
both
ready.
are out here trying to, like, let's do it here. I guarantee you guys would have so much fucking success. I would find you 2 sponsors in the first 6 months where they would sponsor your podcast if you did it properly. And I'm telling you right now, instead of looking out here, you guys have each other. You're both great in front of the mic. You know what I mean? And it would be great when Rob starts and you're like, shut up, you're talking too much. Like, I love you, pipe it. It's my, like, you know what I mean? And I want to
Yes.
see the dynamic, but meaning but I love you. But stop talking. I need to
Mhm.
get a word in edgewise, but I love you. I want to see the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to see what a real couple with an age difference goes through when it comes to biological clock. When it comes, like, because when I was talking to Rob yesterday, he was like, "Well, finances. I got to worry about this, and I got a family to take care of." I was like, "Well, slow down. You haven't had the family yet. You just got Taylor." Like, meaning all of that will come. Like, but that's where men go, right?
Yeah.
And so I just feel like you guys are doing this wrong in the sense where, do it together, do a great podcast. I do, no, I do, like, meaning the two of you doing, like,
I
we're
love
human.
that.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it would be fucking brilliant. I think you would get great guests on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
This is Marky again. Like, this is the stuff aside from Kelsey Ballerini's song. I did a whole piece on it on my Substack about kind of similar position, although I'm not a Grammy winning multimillionaire, but chasing a dream as a woman and then going, holy shit, the time went so fast. What about this other dream? And for many women in my shoes, Rob's shoes, and you're right, as the man, he's definitely like more methodical. He's like, we have to have our finances. But the truth is, I mean, I told this to you yesterday. Like, neither of us have regular income. So we're really facing the music of, do I shelf this? That is my passion for that other dream. Will I resent one way or the other? Like, this is the real shit that women don't talk about, because their thing is like, I have the thriving career and I'm a millionaire and here are my kids. And you're like, okay, well, that leaves me with my dick in my hand, basically. Like, you know what I mean? And it's real life. It's a struggle.
It is, but I think if you guys did something together, honestly, and saw how everything else would go on the shelf, because this would really dominate and be very, very successful. And you're both highly intelligent. You're both great communicators. You both have a great yin to your yang. You're not two type A's or two type B's. You have the dichotomy of the two of you. I love that the age gap, like I was telling him influencers yesterday, and he was like, yeah, I go, well, I'll send you links on TikTok. He's like, what about X? I'm like, who goes on X anymore? Unless you're over 50 years old. You know what I mean? Next thing, if you were to tell me Truth Social, we'll have a problem, Rob. I go, send it on TikTok or Instagram. I'll copy you these links. But it was just funny. Like, but Rob is also one of the, like, in my times of trouble, I call Rob because he'll give me great advice. He'll be a sounding board for a minute, but he never lets me have my pity party. You know what I mean? He'll be like,
it's true.
he'll be
like me
"You were
before
kind
the
of a
show.
cunt." Yeah.
Before the show, I was like crying to him because we were on an hour ago, shit went sideways, and he was like, shit happens. Okay, you need to get back in the saddle, soldier. And we have a 28-year age gap, for those of you who don't know. And yes, we did meet because of Marky. Rob was actually my teacher in Marky's hosting boot camp business and class in LA. So it's all because of Marky Costello. But yeah, again, this is the real dilemma that the veneer of social media doesn't paint, and where like life gets messy, like you said. And it's like, what do you do? And I'm terrified, and he's terrified in a different way. I'm terrified of the time going by. I saw how 10 years went in a blink, and going, I can't afford to do another however many. Like, I'm dying to have kids and figuring out, what's the right decision.
Brilliant. You know what's brilliant about the brand that we just came up with? I do. Is that you could literally be 9 months pregnant sitting in the chair next to him co-hosting.
That's my dream. And he's like, don't shelf your dream. We talked about it today. I was like, look at Caroline
Levitt. His ass. I'm going to kick
Marky,
his ass.
I said, look at Caroline Levitt. And he's like, well, she has resources and probably a thing and a high profile job and people to help her and this. Like, I may be in La La Land, but he's so methodical and in the logistics of it. I'm like, wow, what a killjoy. But that's my goal, is to literally be at a book signing or a show premiere with a fucking baby on my hip. I'm like, goals. Like, that is, or pregnant. Like,
I feel
why
like
can't
people are over late night shows. People think they all have an agenda, and people really love the podcast area, and they love talking to husband and wives. Look at how big the his and hers are. What's the two, I forget their name, but
do any of these people really get into this real nitty gritty shit? I mean, do they?
No, that's why it's going to be so brilliant. No,
it feels like The Sims. It feels a little Stepford Wivesy. It's like, honey, you hogged the remote today. It's
and that's why you're not going to be like that. You're going to be like, oh, shut up because this, and this. No, I love it when you do, but no, like, and take issues, take things that are going on and talk about it. I would love to even get Rob's take on some things like that are going on in the zeitgeist in pop culture. Like, I would love to get his take on the Amanda and West. It would be fucking brilliant to get Rob's take. Like, if you guys just literally took 2 days to get all the information and facts and did a podcast starting out with that too. I do. Let's talk about West and Amanda Batula. I guarantee you, and your clips would go viral and people would want to come in and talk to you too. I don't want you to give up. I think babies bring abundance. I think there's so much that you
takes
have.
All your energy, and he's like, you're not going to be able to focus on your dream, and then you'll resent that.
Oh, tell Rob to shut the fuck up. I gave birth and I literally had a C-section. I had a kid surgically removed from my body, and I was at work literally 3 fucking days later.
Like, while I was teaching a class.
While I was teaching a class, to boot, and to find out someone had robbed me. My old editor, I get a call from Linnell, who worked in my office, saying, we've been robbed, all our camera equipment. And I know exactly who it was. And I called this motherfucker up. And at that time, Westside Casting, all the commercials were shot in that building in the front of where my office was. And there was a guy that lived in a trailer in the parking lot. I call this guy up and I go, hey, I just gave birth and I'm literally in the hospital, but I heard I was robbed last night in the studio. FYI, Richard, who lives in the little trailer in the parking lot saw you, took your license plate, has everything. And if everything is not returned to my office within 24 hours, I will press charges and I'll call the police and we'll give them all the evidence. 4 hours later, everything was returned.
Oh,
My
she's like,
point is, my point is, babies bring clarity, babies bring abundance. Motherhood is very powerful, but you can multitask. To think that you could only, that's the 63 in him that I'm going to kick his ass about, to think that it's like you could only do one fucking thing.
Also,
No.
dude, I'm not trying to have an Al Pacino, like 85-year-old dad moment. Sorry.
Right.
Like, it's like he's his clock too. So again, it's to bring this all back, right? It's control and attachment to outcomes, how things have to look, should look. And at the end of the day, how it trips us all up. Social media just exacerbates that. And how do we get back to real, what you're saying, like real messy life, but abundance, not in like the fake woo-woo way, but the real way that does not fuck us up like this.
And FYI, just the fact that you're engaged and have that beautiful ring on your finger, that's beauty enough, meaning that is gorgeous and that's aspirational. But now give us all this kookiness that comes with it, like dating someone older and dating someone that like lives not in your state all the time. And like, you know what I mean? And you both have a platform. I know. And you both have this platform and you're both highly intelligent and very, very independent. But that's why I think the two of you coming together to finally do content, curate it together as you build this family and you birth this podcast and you birth this thing that's going to grow inside of you. And FYI, I gave birth at 44 with Finn. Got pregnant right away and gave birth at 44. No fucking problem.
No, I'm obsessed. My whole feed, I will say, this is the one time the algorithm has served me. Now my whole feed is stories like that. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. The one time Zuck didn't do me dirty. Marky, thank you so much. I feel like I love you too. And you were definitely a little bit of a safety net for me backstage. I was terrified to do this. And so it was as much as picking your brain as getting your advice. And we will absolutely do it so long as you will partner with us in it. Like we will split that shit. Let's do it. And let's go all in on it.
Let's do it. Talk to me, Taylor. Talk dirty to me. I love it.
I'm saying, and you know what, Marky, why I wanted to do this? I'm like, I'm not going to be a fraud. My show is Talk to Me, Taylor. And if I feel like I can't even really talk to my audience, then what the fuck is the point about what's real, the real?
And I love this as part of your rebrand in the sense where media is moving and you're just moving with it. And so it's time to just take that the water's flowing and it's just going to get a little rapid in this rapids of water, right? And you're going to go over this bump, no pun intended, but you're going to birth a beautiful podcast with your fiance. And I'm going to be there for the ride, helping you guys along. I love you.
I love you, Marky. So are you saying not to ditch the coffee spilt notes
I want to see
Cinderella,
it all.
but bring them along for the messy,
bring them
down and dirty.
Right. Wait, tell you one last thing. So at Finn's lacrosse game, when I was screaming, after you give birth, your bladder floor, like your pelvic floor gets really like, it just like, if you have to pee, you got to go. Like you could sneeze sometime and a little pee pee comes out, or like, so I screamed like, shoot it! Like when he was going to shoot. And a little pee-pee came out. And I swear to God, I had to like 10 minutes later go, I spilled the water on me. I wasn't going to leave the game, but my point is life is messy and we're not perfect. And they were brand new jeans and they were so cute. But guess what? Shit happens. And if I was going on my Instagram or TikTok, I would have said I pee-peed a little bit. Like, where is Lisa Rinnan and the Depends ads when I need them? That's real life. Be real, be raw, be relatable, and go for it. And don't take your 10 years as like I put 10 years in. No, you took your 10 years and that was just the stomping ground of what you're going to build now. Now you know exactly how to do it the right way, the wrong way. God, the universe, whatever you believe in, they believe in divine timing. Even today, the getting fucked up with your, like, and then we had to push it back, but it worked out better because Finn had a guy here and I would have had to been rushed. So it all works out. So trust the timing and I adore you.
Yes, it's so mutual. Thank you so much, Marky. And this is, after a 10-year clawing our way through fights, this is, dare I say, just the start of it?
Yes, just the start.
They're all just bumps in the road, pun intended.
Bumps,
I don't know.
Bumps, stay tuned, currents, bumps. I love it.
Awesome, Marky. Thank you so much. And thanks for really, really talking to me, Taylor, and all the viewers.
Always.
to be continued.
Yes.
Thank you, Marky. Thanks, guys. See you next Thursday.
Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
They might flash you on the tape.
Random baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
And I too am a thought criminal. Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
messing around?
But how much do you actually understand money, especially the new wave?
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor.